Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. WWE 2K26 Ringside Pass Season 2 is on the way, and we have gotten more screenshots, and we haven't really covered the first one, so we'll get into all that. But before we do, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you guys have been enjoying the content. We are on our way to 25,000 subscribers, and I am aware of the recurring joke that I say go ahead a lot or go on ahead a lot, so I would try my best to watch that, y'all. Just know I'm aware, man. Let's go on ahead and get into it, though. The first screenshot that we got to get our first look at was Demolition, and it looks pretty good to me. I saw some people complaining about the hairstyle on one of the models. I'm not too familiar with the look IRL, but again, it's one of those things for me where I'm probably never going to play as these characters, for the exception of maybe a little bit of gameplay here and there for you guys. But for me personally, I'm not looking forward to playing with them. They're just, you know, not my cup of tea, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Everybody likes different things, and I just don't like Demolition. And it's not that I don't like them, I'm just not familiar with them. So I personally think that this is probably going to be the worst DLC pack out of all of them, if I'm being completely honest. And I'm not talking about, you know, the Ringside Pass or what the contents of that's going to bring, but I'm speaking about just in general with the DLC content, right? You got Demolition, Kelly Kelly, which personally, I am very excited for Kelly Kelly. I don't know how much I'm going to use her. I'm going to just put that out there. But I thought that her model looked very, very good as well. But the only thing with Kelly Kelly for me was I was kind of expecting more so, a little bit longer hair, you know what I'm saying? Not the retro Kelly Kelly, something more in the middle, 2011 vibe. Now, her nails is black. A lot of people were complaining about her nails being black. Again, I'm not too familiar. I don't really be looking at all them details. I just know that Kelly Kelly being in a game was something that I was hyped about. I was excited to hear about. But for me personally, man, this pack is a little bit underwhelming for the second DLC pack, just because there's only one character out of the 4 that I am looking forward to. And I think another thing that plays a role into the DLC packs feeling this way is that it's now 4 characters. It almost feels like they don't have any room for error, because we've seen celebrities get added as one of the 5 characters in the past, and even though we complain about it as a community, we're able to move past it fast. It just feels like there's no room for them to put a character that maybe I'm not feeling as interested in the pack, or somebody else, and then it just kind of feels like, okay, you know, it just feels like an underwhelming pack. I know that there's a lot of old school fans that are absolutely stoked, so I'm not speaking for you guys, but just from my personal experience and how I'm feeling personally about this pack, that's just the hill that I'm currently sitting on. And you guys can tell me to go watch highlights and go do whatever, but I'm good, bro. Now, one thing that we do want to go on ahead and cover is that DLC this year is obviously different, and it has caused me to look at it from a different perspective because of the Ringside Pass and the additional content. Now, even though I'm not looking forward to as much of the DLC for Season 2, I am looking forward to the actual content that will be presented throughout this Ringside Pass. Now, we've had the conversation of it being a quote-unquote scam, which I just don't believe at this point, because DLC is now tier 1. But, you know, you have persona cards, you have virtual currency, you have different things that will be playing a role in that. Another thing we don't want to forget about with the rewards is that also we've seen in the past how we've gotten arenas and weapons and different things like that, and obviously we didn't see that in Ringside Pass Season 1 with different weapons, but we did see championships and arenas pertaining to the whole AAA theme. So hopefully it is possible that we do see something very, very similar in 2K26's Ringside Season Passes. Maybe we do get something of that nature in Ringside Pass Season 2. I do expect it to stay very similar to what we've already seen in Season 1. Now, with that being said, going back to my last point, it just feels like there's something more to be a bit more excited about, right? Because if they throw in a persona card in there that you are excited for, then that would make it worth it, in my opinion, and it would make you look past the weak DLC points that you may personally feel. And just to get away from the Ringside Pass, we obviously know that there are some issues going on with the game itself, and we've talked about the issues after the new patch dropped, which I think did fix a lot of things. The whole idea that this game is unplayable, to me, I don't know how I feel about that, because I've been playing tons. Yes, there are their issues, there are some, you know, things that could be working obviously better, but to say that the game is unplayable, I think that's an unfair judgment, in my opinion. Now, online servers, that definitely needs the help. You got to bring those matches back. These patches that are coming to follow up after 1.07 need to be just as big. We know that based on history, we always get a patch either the day of or day before, so that's going to also play a massive role into what we think of 2K26 going forward. I think that 1.07 did a very solid job at cleaning things up, but 1.08 needs to come and follow up and continue cleaning up the bugs and everything that is currently wrong with this game. Now, for those that didn't know, this Ringside Pass will be dropping on April 15th, next Wednesday, and we will also be getting 20 free skips. So if you've been playing the game before the 15th, you will get 15 free skips. There is this idea going around that you need to play as Kurt Angle. I'm not sure who started to spread that around, because if you read the tweet, you can clearly tell that it's not saying that, but people are spreading that, saying that you got to play with Kurt before the 15th. You do not got to play with Kurt, bro. You just got to load up the game and just do whatever at that point. There's really nothing at this point that's asking us to go and play with a certain wrestler to get part of the tier skips. It was a way to promote that obviously there's still a bunch of legends and things like that locked behind the entire pass, but you don't need to go on ahead and play as any of these wrestlers to get the 20 free skips that we're going to get in season 2. I think that's going to be also helpful as well. Hopefully there are some nice rewards between level 2 and level 20, something that we can take advantage of. I think for me as well, and for those people that are not getting a lot of those persona cards and things like that, if you did buy the DLC, that's also going to be something that helps you within from the Ringside Pass, because you're also going to get a chance at virtual currency if it's anything like what we've seen in the Ringside Pass Season 1, because I was able to accumulate over 40k My Faction points and accumulate some island VC, which you can actually use throughout the entire game as well. It's not just for the island, but they did label it that. I feel like it's just so you can go in the island and claim your VC, and maybe you do like what you see. I do like, you know, some of those things, right? If you're somebody that's saving up for a certain My Faction persona card, these passes will help you accomplish that in the future, and that's, I think, the approach that everybody should be using. If you open a pack and you get some My Faction points because you already have the card, you should be saving those My Faction points, y'all, because just the thought of going in there, spending My Faction points on packs or VC on packs when the card market is going to update every 3 weeks, I just don't find it worth it. It's very, very obvious that it is very tough right now with the whole My Faction thing, because it just feels like there is a lot of money being asked for. It's just basically draining a lot of people's pockets, which I definitely don't recommend, y'all. I am a content creator. This is also a job for me, and there's this misconception out there that just because I'm a content creator, I spend money. No, I've spent money in the past, but I also know when is the time not to spend money. And right now, personally, just with all the changes that are going on, I don't know if I could tell you guys, hey, go and spend money, but it's your money at the end of the day. Do what you feel. But again, I just advocate for the Ringside Pass for those that are looking to save those virtual currencies and things like that towards these persona cards. It may just be the best thing that you can do, even if you have to save little by little to then get the character you want without having to spend money if you do already have the paid pass that we had to pre-order. Nonetheless though, y'all, this is going to be it for me today, man. I just wanted to go on ahead, give you some words of wisdom and make sure that you guys know, man, that there is some opportunities out there, even if you're not trying to spend the money, which again, I don't recommend at this moment. If things do clear up with My Faction and we can see past everything that has happened, I'm completely with it. But right now, y'all, I would personally say hold off, but spend your money how you like to. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. You guys have been enjoying the content. I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace.